Yo, what's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro Duel video. A couple of new Prankid cards were revealed past couple of days, so let's take a look. Everything is already up on YgoPro. So 2 new Link monsters, and I think we can definitely expect more Prankid cards. Probably more spells and traps, since there's only one fusion spell that's searchable off of your Doodle, one of the Link 2s. I think better against, or at least compared to the dog here, the Link 2 dog, the Bowwow, I believe the name is. Since your Doodle, your Link 2, again, at least activates itself upon your turn, like upon Link Summon, search any Prankid spell or trap from your deck and add it to your hand. That's currently the fusion card, so fantastic. Finally, the fusion searcher, which is something the deck lacked, you know, a couple of days when I reviewed the deck first. On the other side, we have the dog, the Bowwow. Again, very similar to of course your Doodle, but you know your Doodle can activate during your own turn, like tribute itself to get back 2 Prankid cards from your graveyard back to your hand, while the dog can use the same effect but during your opponent's turn. So it also gives you, and you know, dog has like this pretty much the same markers compared to Doodle, unless of course you know your Doodle has markers pointing to left, while your dog has a marker pointing of course downwards and to the right, if I'm not mistaken. And the dog also gives your monsters like an extra attack boost of 1000, but again, during the replays and during playtesting, I think I've never summoned your Bowwow, you know, your dog. I think there are just better options, and going for Doodle, the Link 2, the other Link 2, is just better, I think. You can use its effect during your own turn as well. Then again, I know where they are going to. The new Prankids, or Prankids in general, is very similar to Ritual Beasts in some way, like fusion summoning during your opponent's turn, and the Doodle definitely helps with that, searching that themed polymerization, being a quick play spell, using their effects, or well, you know, going for the fusion summon during your opponent's turn, going for Weather, also a new fusion monster revealed, pretty much like Rocket, but you know, Rocket tribute itself, special summon 2 monsters to your side of the field, 2 Prankid monsters. That also counts for links, so again, that's quite cute, reborn in the links in your main monster zones, and then, you know, making use of their other markers, right? So again, I know where they are going to, but I'm not really sure if the dog, the Bowwow, is good. Probably not now, but again, we can definitely expect more support, so that might change. Same for the level, I think it's a level 8, the level 8 fusion. I'm not really sure about its correct name, but I didn't include it in my last video, but now, ooh, delicious. Definitely, you should main deck that. Same for Totally Awesome, I mean, with your new, and as you're seeing here, that's pretty much my standard play to go to first turn. If I see the option of having access to Thunderbolt, at least yeah, your Thunder King, right, your Super Bolt Dragon. And of course, Totally Awesome here in your extra monster zone. Totally Awesome will get back like a water monster from your graveyard, being in this case the water attribute Prankid monster. That leaves you with 3 different Prankids in your hand after your quote-unquote 3-card combo of the fusion summoning first turn. And you know, thanks to your fusion summon, thanks to your quick play fusion polymerization, you can make the level 8 fusion during your opponent's turn, and then, well, with its Raigeki effect, maybe like tribute it during your opponent's turn, and then Raigeki their board, interrupt their plays, etc, etc. So I think that's definitely one of the nice additions that this new, at least these new Prankid cards have. On the other hand, and that's also one of the new fusions that was revealed like after I first reviewed the deck, is Weather. Again, Weather very similar to Rocket, but you know, Rocket can tribute itself during your own turn, while Weather can tribute itself during your opponent's turn. And that can be important since, as you know, these Prankid monsters are very similar to Burning Abyss Graph, like special summon something from your deck immediately during your, at least to your own side of the field, and again, once per turn, but still making use of their effects during your opponent's turn is definitely where the strength of this deck is. Then again, we only still have like 9 in total, like regular Prankid monsters, so you definitely need more. And again, as we probably know, we can definitely expect more Prankids, spells and traps, so one of them might be like a themed Pot of Avarice, Same for Yangzing. I believe the card for Yangzing was called Yangzing Path. Again, like target, I believe 3 different Yangzing cards, send them back to the deck, I think draw 1 card, yeah, something like that. For Prankids, like a searchable Pot of Avarice, well, searchable off of a Link monster, off of a Doodle. It's definitely something the deck still lacks. Something different is also something that might be like a new card, a new spell card for Prankids is something like a Zodiac Barrage, like a card like special summon 1 or 2 Prankid monsters from your deck, since currently that's also something the deck needs, is getting those 2, at least 1 or 2 Prankids on your side of the field without the fusion summon, since again you can only use their special summoning effect from the deck only once per turn. I get you, okay, you can use Polymerization, go for the fusion and then tribute the fusion after that, but still then you already used their grave effect, so something that to get those at least 1 free Prankid on the field, you can still sacrifice your normal summon for another one to get those 2 on the field, and then, well, you know, use their special summoning effect, their grave effect, I'll call it, right? So again, those 2 things is something that Prankids might get with their new spells. They might be revealed during the next upcoming days, I think. So yeah, I might just update the deck after that. Playing against Danger, again one of the new TCG exclusive archetypes, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, let's go for Thunderlord with its attack like being at 3,200 or 300. That's of course like bigger than all of his monsters, like all of his main deck monsters, including Graf and the Bigfoot, right, sitting at only 3k attack, and the deck definitely, at least Danger, definitely struggles to get over the Thunderlord, right, your big badass protection beast, I guess, right? And especially with those Thunder Dragons, discarding, popping once per turn thanks to your Lord is something where Danger definitely struggles, as you're seeing here. I made a misclick earlier, since before I went for the second Bolt Dragon, you know, Thunder King 2.0, I had the option to go for Boral Sword, but the misclick of, well, sending like my last Prankid from my deck to the graveyard didn't give me the extra monster needed to go for Boral Sword. Anyway, again, some standard plays, making sure that, you know, my first turn play is pretty similar to, like, pretty much every replay is shown here. Going for the Doodle, getting the Polymerization, quick play, spell card, search, going for the fusion summon, going for the Bolt, preventing my opponent from, you know, searching, and in today's format that screws over so many decks, Sky Striker, Blackwing, Cyber Dragons, etc, etc. So many decks have search cards, and your Bolt just says no to that. So, and again, paired up with something like Totally Awesome, again lets you go for this particular play. Totally Awesome when it's like send to the graveyard, get back your water monster, you know, your aqua Prankid, and that leaves you with 3 different Prankids, going for the fusion, and then potentially Raigeki your opponent's board again. Preferably you can do that, but I think the better option is, if you don't need to make that Raigeki boss, just going for Weather again, the rocket that you can tribute during your opponent's turn, that just gives you more resources again during your opponent's turn, right? And still the fact that your fusion monsters can reborn the 2 linked monsters, you know, your Bowwow and your Doodle, is something I definitely like. I mean, both have those like small, very small Pot of Avarice-alike effects of getting back 2 cards from your graveyard back to your hand. You know, Doodle during your own turn, the Bowwow during your opponent's turn, but again, that's definitely not enough. Something like Exodius in your main deck isn't really the best card to make use, or at least get back those resources from your graveyard. But again, I'm like expecting probably like a trap card to get back those resources. A themed trap card, searchable of course, off of your Doodle, and then, well, you know, just like a Pot of Avarice effect for Prankids is something they lacked. Instant Fusion is a card I overlooked last time, but again, Instant Fusion is pretty much like an Infernity launcher here for the deck. Just special summon your Rocket, tribute Rocket, and then, you know, like reborn the links. It's such a disgusting play, and I know with your dog, again, like reborn it to give your extra Prankid monsters the extra attack boost. I get it, but I think in pretty much every play, in pretty much every replay, I think it was just better to make something like Boral Sword, or just make another play than going for the Bowwow, right? But again, just have it in your extra deck currently might just be an okay option. Last example again against Cyber Dragons, pretty much the same opening moves again, and pretty much ending with totally awesome, negating any of your opponent's plays, having the bolt preventing your opponent from getting the surge, and of course the quick play fusion, netting a possible interruption or Raigeki nuke during your opponent's turn. So again, here is where the Raigeki nuke definitely comes in handy, right? So no Nova, no Infinity, that was definitely needed here. So using the Battle Butler, popping your opponent's monster lineup, and again I think using the special summoning the last Prankid, so no Prankids left in the deck. A very nice top deck would be the Exodius to pretty much set everything up again, going for Doodle, searching the quick play fusion spell card and go from there, right? I switched, at least since I'm not main decking Allure of Darkness anymore, I switched with the, what is it called, you know, discard something, is it, yeah, King of the Swamp I believe, you know, discard Search Polymerization. The only, at least Black Sheep is dark and does have the advantage that you can potentially banish it with Allure, I guess. Here I wanted to go for the dog, but I was like, no, just Boral Sword again is just a better play that lets me going for the push and eventually push for a game. So again, 44 cards, that's not really that bad. Again, Thunder Dragon will mill, at least again, will just thin the deck, and again, as you're seeing, Prankids do have like built-in Karava effects that instantly mill your deck or thin your deck. So running 44 cards, of course, I want to drop it down to 40, so like always, feel free to leave suggestions. A pure Prankid build, not really sure if that's strong enough, so other engines are needed. Thunder seems to be the most appropriate engine, right? Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. LithiumSadi out. Peace.